it's everybody's journey is different, and if you're first starting out, the goal might not be to be a multi-style black belt. I think that it's kind of like you have to scratch your itch. So I have nothing but respect for somebody that has started in the system and trained in that system and stayed true to that system. That's all they've ever done. The challenge is sometimes people use as an excuse not to train anymore. Yeah, I only do one thing. Well, do you even do it anymore? And for me, just the process of learning new material and discovering has always been fun, and I think it kind of is very similar to I can only speak one language, and that's English, right? Barely, but
yes, me too.
But my understanding is as you add languages, other ones become easier, and that kind of it sums up to me martial arts. There's only so many ways the elbow bends, so once you understand, I look at the difference between a black belt in doce pares, Filipino weaponry, and serrada eskrima. There's a lot of similarities, so a lot of the mechanics carry over from one to the other. So there's some little nuances that are a little bit different. And that's true with so many other arts.
Yeah, you mentioned, language, because I remember I took 4.5 years of French in high school, and so, we're talking about kind of the, the root bases that you have for, plural of, them or they or we or a formal you, and that translates, I was talking to my friends that took Spanish, oh, you guys have that too, and so understanding that there are going to be those, kind of basic conjugations there, that would be very similar, so it sounds like martial arts.
Totally. Yeah, for me it was Spanish. I took 4 years of Spanish 1.
Okay.
Basically, I flirted with my teacher. She passed me. I never applied myself like I should have. But yeah, so that would be the kind of idea with it. And I never set out to have to like a certain number of black belts or anything. I just still enjoy training. And you search out a teacher, you start working with them, and next thing you know, you got a test coming up.
Yeah. So is there any one style that you're really focused on right now? I know 2 times a month you're training with Shihan Nishiuchi, Iaido and Kabuto. Is there anything specifically?
Probably the last 20 years I spent a lot more time on jiu-jitsu, 25 years actually, but the last 6-8 months not as much in that regard. So for me it's like I try to, sometimes maintaining is gaining. So when I'm doing bag work, what style am I doing? You know what I mean? It's kind of like everything. When I'm swinging a stick, what am I doing? So I just try to keep my attributes, speed, strength, timing, balance, power, accuracy, kind of in check. And then in a very undisciplined fashion, I will try to stay up on my curriculum, meaning I don't have it's the first Wednesday, I got to make sure that I practice these techniques from this art. I don't really do it that way. It's kind of more of a gut check. I'll do a thing I call the daily 5x5, where I don't do it every day even, it's just in my head, that's what it's called, where I will do something, 5 different arts or 5 different attributes of training for 5 minutes. So like I might do traditional kata for 5 minutes, and then I might do bag work with weapons for 5 minutes. I might practice takedowns for 5 minutes, that kind of thing, and just kind of touch some random things just to keep the body kind of remembering, that muscle memory intact.
Yeah, okay. And that's kind of, just again, being physically active, every day, I think we're always a big proponent of that. We don't want to, sit and get, lethargic. It's the longer we can maintain that movement, the longer it goes for us, right? We don't start to stiffen up and
Totally, and that's what kind of I see, like in my generation of martial artists. A lot of my friends that I started with are my contemporaries. A lot of them aren't training anymore. There's some that are, certainly, and part of the reason is because a couple things that I see, and I know that Christian, who's here listening, who's doing the videotaping, Christian Agrudo, has been with us since he was a little kid, and he's in charge of the video. He's an awesome guy. I've probably given him the lecture about 50 times, right, sir? As far as, hey, you train on a regular basis, it's because the habits you develop as a kid. If you miss some years of training and you're all of a sudden, let's say you haven't done anything, you train until you're 20, you're pretty athletic, and you took 10, 15 years off. Sound familiar?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
But you were doing fitness conditioning when you were there.
I was. Yeah. So,
which
I did cross country and track and, ran collegiately. So I was still physically active.
You were doing CrossFit as well, right? For a while?
A little bit of powerlifting.
Oh, powerlifting. Yeah. I'm sorry. But so anyway, the point is that I've seen so many times guys will they think in their mind they're still 20 and they attempt something, but their body is not conditioned for, so they blow their knee out, hurt their back, etc. Or a lot of the guys from my generation who didn't take their health and fitness seriously, they kind of like, hey man, I'm gonna abuse this body. It's kind of here to, I'm gonna go out. What's the phrase? I'm gonna drive till the wheels fall off type thing.
Okay.
Well, what happens is all of a sudden you've got a replaced hip, and you need shoulder replacement surgery, and you got a blown ACL. Next thing you know, you're not doing anything anymore. So I just had some mentors, and two that really jump out would be Grandmaster June Ree. Another one is Grandmaster Ernie Reyes, that both like really coached me when I was a lot younger about respecting your body, exercising on a regular basis, and using moderation, because that's going to be able to keep you training when you're older. And so then I think the other thing is for longevity is that you just can't compare yourself with other people, because when it's like we had staff training class this morning, and I'm watching some of the young guys doing these head height spinning hook kicks, and I'm going, oh, I used to, and wait a minute, there's a different, in other words, anytime you compare yourself, usually you either look really good or really bad. But what the best thing to do is to just compare yourself with your potential and where you are, and make sure that the material that you're doing is age appropriate, and skill appropriate.